there were people who were 40 years older than me who had been working there since they were 18 years old, and that was their whole life. And that like scared the shit out of me.
I still, of course want to get my degree. And every time I say that, people are like, well, make sure you go back. Make sure you go back, because once you quit, you're not going to want to go back. I really don't make this video or anything to like feel sorry for me kind of thing or anything like that. Like I'm doing just fine. Maybe share a story of a time where I wasn't doing so hot, how I'm maneuvering that now.
Ladies, gentlemen, squids, circles, whatever you are, hello, happy Sunday. It's fucking gorgeous outside. We are on our way to the lot yet again. I don't know kind of what's going on with the lots up in Fort Collins, but we're Fort Collins, Loveland-ish. Trying to find another one where we can be respectful of the owners and all that, and still do our thing. Today, I kind of wanted to talk about some more personal stuff. The more educational videos and all that are fun to make, and talking about different bikes and different stuff with bikes is fun and all, but I think it's far more captivating to talk about things that are pertinent to my life, or different stories and whatnot that's kind of going on. So I thought this would be kind of a cool video to make. Kind of talk more about it at the lot, but basically I decided to leave college after this past semester and kind of do this stuff full time. Now obviously, I'm not at the point yet where I can do this full time and still, make a living and all that, but wanted to kind of talk more about the things that made me make that decision, why I made it. But life's kind of in a weird place for me right now. I'm obviously still working full-time job. I need to be able to support myself in some way, support my family and all that, but I don't know, I think I'll kind of talk more a little bit about it once we get to the lot. You brought the FZ? Yeah. It looks good, bro. Yeah. Ooh. So happy to be back out. It's so nice. Oh. Out of control, but in control. But out of control, but still in control. Okay, I think we're done with wheelies for the day. I'm tired. It's honestly low-key kind of hot out. So, anyways, when I was 18, I finished up high school and I graduated from there, and I didn't really know what I was gonna do. I never really planned on going to college. I think it just wasn't really a thing for me. It wasn't something I wanted to do or saw myself doing. So I took a couple of months to just kind of fuck off and do whatever. People say, oh, I went to go find myself, whatever. I just needed time, right? Then later on that year, I ended up getting a job just working in a warehouse, night shifts, and it paid pretty good, but it still sucked to do it. And while I'm sitting there, like, I got pretty good at it. I could just put my headphones in and jam out all night long, and then I'd get off work at 9 in the morning, go home, have a beer, go to bed. What I noticed when I worked there was that there were people who were 40 years older than me who had been working there since they were 18 years old, and that was their whole life. And that like scared the shit out of me, right? I didn't want to be that. I didn't want that to be my life. So I quit that job, and I had enough savings to kind of get by for a little while. So I quit that job, and I was like, maybe I should just like try out college, just see even what the options look like. And I ended up getting a lot of financial aid for it, so it made a lot of sense for me to do it, because it was about as expensive as what it would cost me to rent out a studio apartment on my own. So I was like, okay, I may as well be able to have some sort of tuition plus living expenses and all that fun stuff covered. That was when I moved up here to Fort Collins. Kind of the summer before that, though, I was living with my buddy, and I don't know, it was just kind of an uncertain time. I didn't love it, but I was kind of excited to go to college, and even though it had been a while since I was in school. And by the way, like, I was never a good student. I sucked at school. I hated school. I didn't like it. And when I got to university, it was a lot of the same stuff in high school that I didn't like, and I kind of just toughed it out. I was like, whatever, like, it's school. It's supposed to be kind of boring and monotonous and all that. It's school. I just kind of tried to cultivate as many friends and family members and shit up here as possible, so that I could have something outside of school and outside of bikes. And so I made friends with the guys at the gym. I made friends with the guys that ride bikes up here. I learned all the lots and all these things. And school, maybe this is just something because I didn't put enough effort in, but it just became kind of a secondary thing for me, because I was working on other shit. And at the same time, I'm still kind of struggling for money. I was kind of freaking out. I didn't have any money. My student loans were paying for housing right now, but I was gonna have to get an apartment soon, and I needed a job no matter what. I went to a career fair, and I ended up meeting this guy who ran a solar company, right? And if you guys know anything about solar companies, the industry's filled with stupid shit and very kind of shady companies. I'm hesitant to say that this was one of them, but I just didn't have a great experience with it. I'm not going to name names or anything. I don't know, I took a lot from it, but I wouldn't do it again. From like February, when I met this guy, to May, I'm training to go do this job, and it's fucking door-to-door sales, man. Like, it was not cool. That's why I didn't upload any videos this summer, because I was out doing that. I had never done sales before, so it was kind of a shell shock to me once I actually got out there, and it was in a completely different state from Colorado, so I don't have any friends or family or anything nearby. I'm doing this, and I got a couple of deals, and if you know anything about solar deals, like, they pay out really well. That was what mainly attracted me to it. Plus, it was an internship. It would look good on a resume and all these great things. I'd get a lot of experience, and I did get a lot of experience. I was really grateful for being able to have all that. I just wish that it wasn't kind of built on the promise that, you're going to get paid this much if you have this many deals, and I had this many deals and I didn't get paid that much. So I got back from that. I was kind of freaking out because I didn't have a whole lot to show for it when I got home, or at least not as much as what I thought I should have, or not as much as I planned on having, I'll put it that way. And I got home and I'm like freaking out, because not only do I have my student loans that I'm working on, and I was trying to chip away at those as quick as possible, even though I know they're loans, I know they're deferred and all that. I just wanted to kind of keep on pace with that, but now I also have this apartment that's significantly fucking overpriced that I got into not thinking about, and I'm like, fuck, dude, I don't even have a car. Like, I don't have a car, I don't have a job, I can't do the solar shit right now because I have school. It made my school experience suffer a lot. And I think at the time too, I had a couple of family members kind of pass away, so that, I don't want to like throw just like excuses at it, but that was something that definitely I think had an effect on my experience with school so far. And it just made it really difficult, because I'm sitting in class and I'm like, fuck, how am I going to pay my rent this month, kind of thing. And if you've ever been in that experience, like, it's not fun, and it makes it a lot harder to be good at what you're trying to be good at, and be good at your education and focus on those things. I'm like submitting application after application. That's what I'm doing in my classes, in my lectures. I'm doing that because I'm more worried about, fuck, I need a place to live, than I am worried about, fuck, I need, an education. I'm trying to figure that out, and I was able to, get a job fairly quickly after I got
my GoPro died, so the audio quality isn't as good, but deal with it. I'm able to get this part-time job. I'm doing it. I don't love it. It's nothing special or crazy. Doesn't pay crazy, doesn't pay great at all, but it was helping me kind of dig myself out of a bad situation. And while I'm digging myself out of that situation with school or with work, I'm digging myself into a worse situation with school and my grades and all that. So I was in a position where I couldn't really just do both at the same time. Part of that was probably because of my own actions, for sure. I'm not going to take responsibility for any of that. It was just kind of a tough situation. And of course I still have these things, and I want to do this. This is what I love. So I finished out last semester. It's this past semester really sucked for me. I didn't get to be as good of a student as I wanted to be. That was when I kind of started uploading more and more on here, just because I have just enough spare time to be able to film a video for an hour, and I'm going to be riding anyways on the Sunday, so film a video for an hour and go from there. But I came away from the semester and I decided to just not come back for this semester. I still, of course, want to get my degree, and every time I say that, people are like, well, make sure you go back, because once you quit, you're not going to want to go back. I want to get that done. I don't really like starting shit and not finishing it. I decided to go full-time at the company that I'm working at now, and that's why a lot of the videos I'm riding to work, and just because that's when I have time to shoot a video. I'm going to be on the bike anyways, may as well, that's why I try to pick easy things to talk about too, because it's easy to talk about bike maintenance and this kind of bike over this kind of bike, and maybe I could just kind of give some of my personal experience with learning how to do all this to somebody else who hasn't had that. I wish that I had someone who could kind of guide me the way that I wanted to do it on here. So now in the timeline, we're pretty caught up to now. That was kind of what led up to that decision, and I think might not be the smartest long-term decision, but for me it's taken a lot off of my shoulders to be able to just say, okay, let me just dig myself out of this situation. And that's why I want to put more effort into doing this, because this is what I love, and I feel happy doing it, and I feel more of a purpose doing it than I do with whatever I'm doing at work. And I would like to be able to kind of do this more, do this wholeheartedly, instead of just on the side. So was dropping out the best decision? It's kind of hard to tell now. Has been long enough time for me to say yes or no. But right now, things are okay. They're a little bit better than they were a couple months ago. A little bit better than they were a couple months before that. So hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully somebody can kind of relate to this. They're in my situation, because I wish that I was here and I could tell this to myself from a year ago, what I'm telling you guys now. So maybe it was a little bit more of a captivating story than, what's the best maintenance items to do on your bike? Same. And I really don't make this video or anything to as a you feel sorry for me kind of thing or anything like that. I'm doing just fine. But more so just to kind of maybe share a story of a time where I wasn't doing so hot, and how I'm maneuvering that now, kind of coming out of it. If it resonated with you at all, great. I know all the wheelies and stuff are fun, but sometimes more serious stuff like this is, you know, good to talk about, good to get off my chest a little bit. Just kind of have some me time where I just get to talk, rant, and maybe it's good for somebody else out there who's going through a similar experience. So thank you guys for the support lately. I appreciate that. And yeah, click the like button if you liked the video, click the dislike button if you didn't like the video. That's fine. Leave me a comment either way. I will respond to you. Do my best. And yeah, see you guys next week. Peace.
So